BP oil rig explosion killed almost a dozen men, spilled over 5 million barrels of oil over 68,000 square miles of coastal and marine habitats. Today, Louisiana is still finding oil droplets. At the time of the explosion, it took 3 months for engineers to devise a solution. They could not figure out what exactly was going on inside the jet. So they used computer models to develop the jet flow in their surrounding ocean. But unfortunately, while these models helped them quite a bit, even with today's computational power, these simulations take a very long time to solve, anywhere from multiple hours and days to weeks and months. Therefore, the focus of my research was to accelerate these simulations, because any advantage we can give the engineers means they can come up with a solution faster and ultimately reduce the impact on the environment. To accelerate the simulation, I first analyzed it and determined that the #1 calculation that took almost 99% of the total time was just solving for the pressure. This is because the computer had to solve very complex equations one at a time, and it created a massive bottleneck similar to a huge traffic jam within the simulation. So therefore, if we're going to accelerate the simulation, I first need to accelerate the solver. Now if I take a piece of food and I try to eat it, it might take me, say, 10 bites. But if I break it into 10 pieces and distribute it throughout the audience, we can all simultaneously take 1 bite, thus completing this in just 1 bite. That's 1/10 of the time, and that emphasizes the total parallel operation. So this type of performance increase is what I utilized in the simulation. I took the pressure solver and took all its complex operations, which are all independent of each other, and broke them up. But unfortunately, our current computer simulations and the current computers, they can only handle a few tasks at the same time. So I employed a device called a graphics card, and many of you have these in your home computers to handle the pixels on your monitor. These graphics cards have hundreds and soon to be thousands of processors in them. So I can take our pressure solver, I can distribute it across the hundreds of processors, and achieve an enormous speed up, 82 times faster for the simulations. That means the simulations that once took a week to solve now take 2 hours. So therefore, the BP engineers who originally were using all these simulations, if they would have employed my solver in combination with graphics cards, they could have drastically reduced their solution time and ultimately drastically reduced the environmental impact. Thank you.